The Nikki Glaser Podcast. The Nikki Glaser Podcast.
Here's Nikki. Hello, welcome to the show. It's the Nikki Glaser Podcast. Here I am. I'm in Los Angeles, California. I am visited by what is this? The night before
Ghosts?
Christmas. Andrew Collin is haunting me from, I'm guessing, his apartment in St. Louis.
Am I?
I think so. I know. I recognize that wall.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm home.
And we have Noah in Arizona. And also joining us this week on the show is my dear friend, one of my, I would say best friends. And that's not just something I would reserve to say after you've passed. I think people sometimes bump up people in the standing once they've passed. But one of my best friends, he's a comedian. He has a new special out on YouTube that you can watch for free right now called The Mad King. Please welcome to the show, Ben Gleib.
Thank you, Nick. What's up, girl?
Hi, Ben. How has premiere weekend been of your stand-up special?
It has been good. It's been really good. People's comments have been really nice, and some really nice people have been...
You read comments?
I read comments only for big events. I don't read them for most things, but for big things that I've been working on for a very long time, I'm curious. But that said, I feel like I'm being shadow banned by YouTube. It's on YouTube for free,
really?
And I feel like I'm talking about a lot of things in the podcast in the special that you're not maybe supposed to talk about. I feel like I'm being shadow banned. Like the views have not been great, even though the reviews are like
let's change
insane.
that. The reviews are insane, and they should be. I like to support my friends. My friend Ben is, I know, hilarious. It's been like a while since I've seen your stand up. I mean, I've watched you. You host a lot of shows. You have like a comedy club in your apartment called Club Nowhere, which you started during Zoom, where you do a lot of improv sets and different shows on that. But it's been a while since I'd seen your stand up. I mean, maybe since like 2009 or something, dude. I'm sorry to admit that,
Wow.
but it had been, since I don't watch anyone stand up, but like maybe saw you at the Improv back in the day. Your stand up special, The Mad King, is so freaking funny, so good. I was live texting you about it the other night when I was watching it, and I was blown away, man. I mean, I knew you were funny, but I really thought that because you're such an improv guy and you're such a guy that's does these specific shows where you play characters, you do like filters on your face where you'll do different impressions, and they're so fun. I encourage everyone to check out everything Ben has going on because he's just one of the funniest. But this stand-up special is like top notch. Your stand-up is great.
Thank you so much. That's very kind of you. Your text chain to me was very encouraging during my premiere night. That made me feel very good.
Yeah, I just put it on and I started writing to him as I was watching like all the bits I loved. And I was watching it on 1.5. I think I started at 1.7, but you're a fast talker, which I appreciate. So I had to take it down to a 1.5. And as soon as I start going, I know that Ben is so neurotic, just like I am, that I go, by the way, Ben, don't think that I'm like skipping bits. I'm watching it on double the speed. So I'm
That
going,
is
and he
how
was like,
kind you are. That is how nice of a person you are. Is that you're not only you're not only being nice watching it, but you're taking care of my psyche. And you're telling me,
I know you.
Yeah, oh yeah, I would have been so confused. I would have
You
thought you were
even
jumping around.
said, you were like, I think YouTube is glitching because I was going too fast. You were just going to
You're
look
4
into
minutes in, and you're like, your closer's incredible. I love how you closed out the show with those credits. That was
Yeah.
amazing. It's like-
And she like live texted me for the first like 2/3
Oh,
of it,
that's
and
funny.
then dropped off. And then I
Dropped
texted her
off.
like an hour later. I was like, "Oh, so you hate the last third of my special?"
I know. That's how not good of a friend I was. I didn't tell you that I dropped off because I assumed that you would think like, there's no way I would not like keep going. Even if it sucked, I would like find something to like about it. But I got distracted because someone was like, I need this answer on something. So I had to go shift gears. So I haven't finished it, but man, it made me, and that's the mark of something great. It made me want to really like buckle down and focus on my writing. And it was just so tight because I know you and I are very similar in the sense that we're both we can get very tangential, very quick, and we just get distracted. We're very ADD on stage. Andrew, do you have something in your mouth? Because it is an active slapping of the gums that I can't. But like it's
you
been
know what
going
it
on.
is?
I've been hearing
what
it for
it
like
is?
2 minutes, and I was gonna not say anything, but it's too much, man.
My brain can't handle
Are you
ADD
eating
stuff like that,
taffy?
too.
Yeah, I'm eating Airheads. They're
Are you tying a cherry stem into a knot with your mouth right now to impress us? Is that what's happening?
look.
I'm impressed.
I've lost a few teeth over the weekend.
Put 'em
I'm
back
down
in.
to -4. Huh?
Shove them
What
puppies
is it?
back
It's
in
my
there.
gums. My gums. Okay.
I thought you said, well, you know what it is, so I thought
Yeah,
you had
he
an
did.
answer for it. I thought that
I
yeah.
never do. I never have an answer. It's my shitty mouth. I got it. My
No,
wet
Andrew,
mouth
you
from my
gotta-
dad.
You got to go back and listen to what I that was.
Yeah, it sounds like a sea lion eating chips. I know. I'm bad. I'm bad. I'm disgusting. I get it.
That's not what I was saying at all. If you would have known how long I let it go before I said something, I'm
I'm
a
drinking
changed
coffee.
person.
I'm drinking coffee. I'm drinking.
I would.
Hearing
The
about my
old Nikki
stand-up
would have
makes
commented
Andrew
on
wet.
it.
Andrew gets wet when
Yes.
he hears about my jokes. That's how it always
Oh
has
my
been.
god! But seriously,
I'll stop. I'm drinking coffee. That's what it is. I'm drinking
it
coffee.
is. Wait, what,
Yeah,
that doesn't explain anything.
Look, I don't know if your guests are allowed to do their own ad reads, but if you'd like coffee that makes your gums wet, try the new Wet Gum Coffee Company. It makes
Oh,
your
wait.
That is
Listen
honestly
to one of our
better
most
than whatever I
popular
was hearing.
customers.
Okay, you know
Oh
what
my
it
God.
is? I think I did
Okay.
figure it out. I have food in my teeth.
And you're trying to
from
get it out.
6 weeks ago.
We
I
gotta
don't know
get you
how.
a water pick, brother.
How does food get stuck in your teeth when you don't have any? I don't know.
I mean, there's sockets. Those empty sockets. You got to get a water pick.
sockets.
You're keeping sockets or pockets.
If you use promo code Quickie Gums, you get 3
Sockets are
free beans.
Dude, sockets are pockets is the funniest thing I've ever heard, dude. Sockets.
Well, go back and
pockets.
listen to what I was the sound effects that were going on while I was talking about a special. It sounded like a it was just so wet. It sounded like a bathroom that was like a leaky bathroom.
Wet
Okay,
bread
well-
well,
We're good,
against the wall.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're good.
You know how a lot of radio shows have a cough button? Andrew needs a mouth sounds button. Andrew needs a.
You know what I need? I need one of those dentists to carry around one of those vacuums.
Oh,
I need
those
a
are
vacuum.
great.
Yeah.
I love when you get to suck on one of those. When it,
I don't
it's
like that. I
and
don't
then
like
it kind
it
of
at
like.
all.
Oh, you don't? What
No,
do you
it
mean?
holds on to you. It holds on to you. I feel like I'm going to get sucked into the machine completely.
I love it.
And every
Wait, you think
no,
your whole body's going in the
I think
machine?
Yeah, I think my whole body's going in there like an ectoplasm thing in Ghostbusters, sucking me in there like Slimer. And just hopefully the black hole doesn't release me at midnight into the street. And
It is funny.
Every mouth on Earth has
How
something that
skinny do you
exact
think
piece
you
of
are,
plastic.
Ben?
I'm pretty
How skinny do you
not
think
that
you
skinny.
are?
Not that
He's a
skinny.
tiny, tiny man.
I'm
That
a
is
miniature
funny.
Boy.
The sucker always like gets the water first and is like,
Yeah.
and it like does its job and then it goes like, and it just like holds on for dear life
Yes.
to like skin and it just like starts freaking out and then you gotta like pull it off. Like the nurse needs like
frightening.
help from her friend to get it off. Yeah.
She's pushing against the wall. She's around the corner trying to tug your body back.
That sucker thing always like it's like it's like me dating in my late 20s. Like it just is cool at first and then it's just like no, don't let go.
Sucking for dear life. I get it.
Yes, yeah. Oh yeah, I was back.
Every human sucked
then.
on the same piece of plastic like 3 times that day already. It's not
They're
pleasant.
very clean at that dentist. But you know what? I will say that Ben has some great like just bits about just the what I like about your special is that the part I saw, the third I saw, which I read thirds of books, I watch thirds of
You
specials.
saw 2/3. You saw 2/3.
I did. I saw 2/3.
But at 1.8 speed, so that's a third.
Yeah, exactly.
It's math.
It was, you talk about things that I was like, God, there's no way that you could, there's like stuff that's just that you think has been done, but it hasn't. Like your stuff on religion, which whenever someone starts talking about religion, I'm always kind of like, I'm out because I don't really know about religion and I don't really know what I'm supposed to know. And I feel like I used to think Cain and Abel were like the two characters from Cheers that sat at the bar. Like I didn't know anything about religion. So I
think of wrestlers. I don't know why.
But I learned a little bit. Like can I like spoil one of your bits?
Yeah.
I don't think it's bad if I do. What you were talking about, how why has God never shown up again? Then he did. Can you kind of like run us through that bit? It's just
why
so
did
funny.
God only talk to us once, thousands of years ago, during an era of very poor record keeping? Why was that when he chose to speak?
They didn't
we
even have pens.
We didn't have feather pens. You had to carve shit into stone to get your message across. God's on Moses on top of Mount Sinai. He's like, slow down. I'm on 1. You're on 7. Is it kill or thou shalt not kill? I'm carving this. Run it back,
That was
please.
such a great point.
I
Because
mean,
it's
it
like,
makes
Talk one more time. Talk
I'm
one
just
more
thinking-
time.
The carving makes it so official, like if Moses just wrote it in notes on his phone and came down and was like, "Hey, you shouldn't kill a guy." It's like, that's in your notes. That's your like.
That was the original voice to text.
you wrote it on the back of a Jamba Juice receipt. You'd be like, I don't know if we're gonna trust this.
Wait, time out. There's Java Juice back then.
Listen.
Well, in your scenario, there was a phone, Andrew.
was
So
an
once there's a
Eden.
phone,
That's a good point.
Once we got a phone, you got to have Jamba Juice to balance it out.
Yeah. well,
there's a tablet joke in there. Oh boy.
Oh, that there is for sure. iPad. I wanted to talk
Voice to
about
tablet.
I'm sad.
voice to tablet. I last night I posted something on, or I guess it was 2 days ago on my Instagram story. I saw a clip from a comedian that that handsome British comedian. What's his name? Jack.
Oh yes, Jack Whitehall or something.
Yes, Jack Whitehall. Yes. Gorgeous man.
Thank you.
I was thinking of you when I saw this clip. I swear.
Yeah, it's rare that it's not rare. Let me be honest. There's a lot of times when comedians have like a really hot take on something, and most of the time it's like comedians hate cyclists. They hate people. They don't want to share the road with cyclists. That's such a point they like to make about like they're going too slow and like get off the road, and that just causes people to like be angry at cyclists, and it causes them to like, because my dad's a cyclist and he always gets run off the road by just people that are like, get off my road. It's just so stupid.
Your dad is always getting run off the road on his bike. That's not happening. How often? How often?
No, it used to happen a lot. He doesn't bike anymore, but when he was cycling, there would always be people that would just go right next to him just because they were like, you think you're better than me, guy, in spandex. It's working out and I'm jealous of you because you have a better
Nikki, you were driving that car.
Wow. It was my dad's car. The irony.
It was my dad.
Every time it's a 97 Sentra. What is it?
And whereas I'm someone, the other day I was on the sidewalk and there were people biking on the sidewalk and I was like, get off the sidewalk. I yelled at them. I go, guys, and I didn't yell. I did it as nice as possible. There was 3 of them and I go, Nikki, don't say anything. They're a family. They don't know. But it wasn't a family. It was like people my age. And then there was 3 more in this group. And I go, guys, you got to bike on the road. The road is right here. Biking is on the road. And it's not on the sidewalk. I'm on the right part.
No, so hold on a second. So you
I'm
both
saying
acknowledge,
cyclists deserve to be on the road. Keep cyclists on the road.
but you're also
But you
saying
don't
that
allow
people don't respect it and they're getting run off the road and you're sending them to their
That's
death.
what I'm saying.
You're sending them back to their
Well,
death.
drivers need to be more respectful. They need to give them room. They don't need to be so angry at them. I give cyclists so much room. I'm almost in the next lane. I love giving it a lot of room.
You're in oncoming traffic
always-
just so you can let a cyclist get his
I
chance.
really am.
I think God needs to come down and make this a commandment
Where is God now?
to keep cyclists somewhere in the middle.
But Jack Whitehall was going off about, I got to the airport and when people are, he's just so hot, so I'm watching it. He's like, people are late, when people are late to the airport, they just cut in line. I don't like people cutting in line. Whereas I'm like, you're a famous person. You've 100% cut people in line to get in clubs because you're like with Kate Beckinsale in tow. You've 100% like cut in front of people, but he's really taken umbrage with these people cutting in line at the airport. And and his thing was like, their excuses, but I'm late. And it's like, I get it. It's funny. It's almost like the Louis C.K. joke of when someone like cuts in front of you in traffic and it does like a dumb thing. And you're like, what are you doing? And the woman's like, but I want to go there. And you're like, well, you can't. And she's like, but I want to do it. But I can't. And you're like, that's not a good enough reason. I get the joke, but truly, I think it's bad propaganda for people traveling. If everyone has been late to the airport, if someone is looking under duress and they show up at the airport and they're going to miss their flight and you are in line at TSA and you were 2 hours there early because you're responsible and all these things that you want everyone to know, well, you should have been there earlier just like me because I'm responsible. Well, guess what? Not everyone's you. So sometimes shit happens in life. Your alarm doesn't go off, whatever. Let people go in front of you. This is so stupid that everyone should have to wait in line. There's so many times I get to the airport late. And I am fraught with like wanting to interrupt. Like if I ever see someone looking nervous about missing their flight, I'm always like, go ahead. I don't even like wait for them to ask because there should be a line for people who are late. Do you? And Ben wrote to me and said, I agree with you on this.
100%.
Ben?
I just think too many times there are people that skip the line, that get off the plane. Like I had a girl today or the other day. She got up right away, got in front.
Yeah.
Skipped the whole line, got off the plane. We got out of the fucking little tarmac, whatever area, and then she stopped walking right in front and just blocked traffic. So she hurried to get off the plane.
Oh, yeah.
And then was in no hurry off the plane.
Right.
Which kind of drove me insane because she didn't have anywhere to go. But I guess her brain had somewhere to go because she was feeling probably anxious and anxiety and all that shit.
You're going to find people that are going to break the rules and just line cut because they just want to. But that is, I feel like it's few and far between as opposed to like when people are late and they're going to miss their flight because of something happened, the Uber, they called an Uber, it canceled. Like there's a million things that can not be your quote unquote fault. And then people just look at you like, sorry, you should have been like me. I'm really responsible. And it's like, well, sorry I had an alcoholic father who didn't teach me how to get to the airport 2 hours early like you, bitch. Like, just let me go in front. Like, why are you, why is it so important?
Andrew's
if you
a
took
huge
the car.
Andrew's a huge Andrew Whitehall fan and Jack Whitehall fan. And I don't think you just love the British. Is that what it is?
Yeah, he's a Jackie.
Because
I can't name one other British comedian, but God, they mean so much
just
to my
relate to their
upbringing.
mouth issues. They have teeth things that get in the way, and it makes you feel empathetic to them. I get it.
Well, look, I just think that I had one guy skip me in line, and I had headphones in, and I started talking shit about him. But I didn't realize I was too loud because the music was on, and so I pretended I was rapping,
like to yourself,
about
right?
the guy. Yeah. So I was like, "You bald ponytail, motherfucker!" Like it was very specific to him. You've never called out anyone for skipping lines or anything. Like you never.
Yeah.
But not at an airport. Not if they're in a
There's
rush.
a difference between someone going, I'm really late, I'm so sorry, like looking sad about it, and then someone who just is like, I want to get there sooner because I think I'm better. I mean, there is a total difference. Jack Whitehall's joke was about people who are late and are like, can I get in front because I'm late? And he's like, yeah, that's not a good enough excuse. We're all whatever he said.
We're all here for a flight. You think we have all these bags so we can go buy a giant Toblerone?
Oh God, that's okay.
Is that the word? Oh God.
I mean, that's not a bad joke by any means.
It's a funny joke, but also like, good. It's a funny reference to justify the bad opinion.
It's just it's a false premise because he doesn't believe that at all either. Jack, I know if he was late to an airport, would want someone to like. He's a nice guy.
I'm so sorry. I have to catch a loo in the air. You know, whatever they call planes.
That's what I liked about your stand-up special is that there aren't false premises based on like things that are, you're just not angry about things that don't really make any sense, that are just for the joke. Like they're all based on actual stuff that's happening in your life. And I want to get to more things that you talked about in the first 2/3 of your special when we get back after this with Ben Gleib. All right. We're back with Benny Boy Gleib. Ben Gleib has a new special out called The Mad King that you can check out on YouTube. We do think it has been shadow banned, so we would really appreciate you guys to watch it. You are going to love this. Like I do promote people's stand-up a lot, and especially my friends. I was so happy that this was actually great. And really, Ben, I'm serious. Like, and I already told you this via text. It truly inspired me and made me go. But I said this was Burr levels good, like Bill Burr levels good, without question. Like this, if any of these jokes I could see coming from, they are, if Bill Burr were to say them, Carlin-esque, you know, all of these guys, like it's up there with that, where it's like the way you change the way I think about certain things. I really, really love what your point about, I don't want to spoil it. The different TV shows and the different kind of media that women watch versus men.
Yes, you can spoil
Can
it.
you tell us a little bit about that?
If you want.
Yeah,
Sure, yeah.
yeah. Tell me.
I mean, it's just all gender roles are kind of. It's confusing that people are even like so rigidly holding on to like, oh, you can't use this bathroom or that bathroom. All gender roles are blending anyway. They're kind of reversing. Like we all grew up believing that men love action movies and women love romantic comedies. I don't find that to be true at all these days. Like, my favorite movie is When Harry Met Sally. And every woman I talk to, she's like, I just binge watched 12 serial killer documentaries on Netflix.
Yes.
Like, I couldn't
loved
sleep
that.
if I watched one of those. How do you do that?
Well, I wrote Ben and I was like, Ben, my favorite movie is When Harry Met Sally. And you're so, but you're so, that really cut through because you're so right. Like I really loved all your stuff about gender because I'm huge trans rights advocate. And I don't see what all the fuss is about. Like, just let people be what they want to be. And I really loved your take on it. And I always get nervous when anyone even goes there because I'm like, God, please don't have the wrong take. But I love that you said, wait, you go, we love trans people. Why are we so up in arms? We love Transformers.
My favorite thing in America. Are you kidding me?
We love Transformers. It was so funny. It was such a great point. Like we like you had a lot of great takes on that, and I loved that you made great points, and then you even got into more personal stuff of like you dealing, you know, your girlfriend, now fiance, dealing with depression during COVID, her painting all the walls gray, which is so funny. You talked about your diagnosis of having ADD, which I also was like, oh my God, I was just diagnosed with ADD. Tell me a little bit about that, because how did you not know? I mean, because you're a boy, and I feel like boys usually get a diagnosis early. Yeah,
I had to go to my parents and be like, guys, so you've been aware that I've been unable to finish any to-do list my entire life, or get out of bed, or stay focused on something. They're like, yeah, we just thought that was you. I'm like, yeah, but people can have problems and still be them. Like, how?
Yes.
Trying quickly to.
I know that we just thought that was you is a very thing. Like, we just thought that's who you are, and it's like, but there are solutions for this thing I'm struggling with. Like,
right. I'm still struggling with in my 40s now.
It's so fascinating though, because Ben, you are so highly. I mean, I almost would err on the side of your parents, because it's like you look at you and you look at how accomplished you are. Ben Gleib, if you didn't know, he ran for president. And I'm not kidding you. Like, it wasn't just like, I'm going to run for president, like just as a bit.
Joke.
This guy really ran for president and gave it his all. And I thought it was going to kill him.
I love a president that runs on, I will not do my whole to-do list. I promise you I will get through 4 of them. I will start with the big ones, because I trail off. But it's not my fault.
I will not play golf as much as other presidents, because I will not get out of bed most days.
Because the walls are gray.
You get a whole team. You get a whole team when you're president. They keep you on schedule, okay?
You're so right. Someone recently said to me, Nikki, because I'm going on vocal rest pretty soon after surgery, and I was talking to someone and he was like, who works closely with celebrities, and he was like, "You're the hardest working person I know. You deserve a break." And I said, "Harder than Fallon?" And he goes, "Fallon has a team." And I was like, okay, well, and it's a good point. Like once you get to that level, President Fallon, it almost gets easier because there is so much. Did you think about that, Ben, on the way to becoming president? Like once I get there, this has got to get easier.
I can see Ben being like, the only thing holding me back is I got to get someone to get me a toothbrush. Get someone.
No, that's
like I forgot it.
Well, first of all, as America's going right now, we're probably 1 to 2 years away from America being called the United States of America, starring Jimmy Fallon. He will probably also have America. He'll have 4 or 5 shows.
Oh yeah, he would
America.
win. 100% he would win.
Oh my God, this is incredible. So excited to have the president of China here. This is incredible. Have the president of China. I'm such a fan of all the toys you make, all the stuff you make. We really love it. We really love it here.
We still have concentration camps. Is that cool, Jimmy?
Listen, I'm not here to judge. We'll be right back with Mary Kate Olsen. She's got a new handbag. We're very excited about it.
She's the Secretary of State. So, yeah, Ben, how did you? I mean, you were getting it done. What made you even want to get a diagnosis? What made you look into it? You said that you can't get out of bed. Like that to me does not. When you were talking about like you stay in bed all day sometimes with your girlfriend and your special, I was like, I felt good because I was like, you seem such like a highly productive person that I felt like, oh, he never takes a day off. You're someone that I think we relate to each other a lot in the sense that of our work ethic. I think you read my thing in that interview magazine. You were like, I relate to all of these answers about working.
Yes.
So how does it work for you?
I don't often take out full days. I just am on very weird sleep schedules always that you think's going to kill me, and I think you're onto something. I need to fix it. Like I'm on 3.5 hours.
Did you sleep last night?
No, 3.5 hours. It's not good. And so I don't know. I just sometimes when I'm relaxing, I try to like do it, but I feel like I have like sleep paralysis in the morning when I wake up. My whole life I feel like there's the world's heaviest weighted blanket on me, and I just can't get out of bed. Like I'm in a coma. Like I wake up and I'm like, I can't move. I'll snooze like 300 times when I can. I don't have a day full of stuff. So it's pretty rare. But like on the weekends, I'm like, I'll just sneeze. I'll sneeze all day until
you're allergic to being awake.
People bring a little dish of pepper under my nose when I sleep, and
it makes sense that once you do. Is that a fear of yours about like actually going to sleep? Is that you know that the desire to stay in bed will be so strong that you almost don't want to go to sleep because it's going to be hard to get out of bed? Yeah.
That's exactly
why you avoid
I
it?
stay up so late. Exactly right. Is that like people that get things done before, like in the morning, wake up early, like I'm going to run a mile and then I'm going to edit this podcast and then start my day of tasks. Like I just won't ever get to anything until my first appointment, and I'll probably be late to that appointment. I'll probably be like almost late to the flight, and I'll have to pass British people in line on the way into the airport.
And then they'll write bits about you on the back of a Jamba Juice receipt.
With your tub around? I can't even say that word.
Anthem. Yeah, you said it almost like a British ghost. It was weird. Like you were the ghost of chocolate past.
Well, Andrew is joining us. Or whatever it says. That's so interesting, Ben, because...
And then Adderall fixed that for me. It was the one really thing that Adderall helped.
Yeah.
First time in my life, I was able to like bounce out of bed, and I was like, oh, humans could actually not feel like they're connected to like some kind of a... I feel like I'm in a coma when I wake up normally, and it solved that, but I had to quit it recently because it was just too intense.
Well, let me just ask you about this coma state. Like when you are in bed and you're not able to get out, is it a physical, like I just can't get out, or is it, everything that's physical is mental, but are you aware of the mental anguish going on? Is it like, I have so much to do today? It's like, if I get out, I know that it's so long before I get back in. I'm just projecting of what I kind of think about in the morning of like, here's another fucking day. Like, I don't understand people that are like, I love the day and I'm ready to start. I'm always like, God, another fucking day. Like, I love going to bed because it feels, the Nick Griffin joke, mini suicides.
Yeah, exactly. Every night you get to just check out. No, I love it.
Do you,
I
when
love
you're
sleep.
hitting that snooze, do you feel like, because you're a guy that I feel like has such a zest for life. You're always like, let's go do karaoke. Let's have a pool party. Let's do this. Like you love being around people. You love socializing. Is part of that because you want to keep busy because you don't want to focus on this, whatever happens when your mind is alone? Is it, when you're in bed in the morning, what are you thinking about your day? Do you dread your day?
No, I don't dread it. It's just that I have you're totally right that I have a big zest for things and I like to plan big events and fun things because when I
Oh my
go
God,
do
you're so
things
zesty.
I want to, I'm like
You
a salad
are.
dressing. I want to make the most. I want to make the most of things when I do them. But in some reason, like all day once I'm up and then all through the night, like I have the most energy and I want to do a million things and I'll never get tired and I can stay up indefinitely. Like I wasn't even tired when I went to bed at 4:45 this morning. I was like,
Yeah.
I wanted to keep doing stuff and do on my phone and read the news and shit. But then in the morning, there is nothing that I want more than sleep, and I will change every
Yes.
part. Like as I'm about to go to sleep, I'll be like, all right, so I have to do this, and I need 15 minutes for that, and then I'll shower, and then I'll do that, and I need to get up at 9:45 to possibly get to the thing by 11:30. In the morning, immediately I wake up and I'm like, I can get up at 11:25 and just speed there
Yep,
and text
yep,
her. I'm sorry,
yep.
I'm a little bit late. I just push every priority in my life. I'd rather fail at life in the morning.
I don't need to
than just
shower.
stay
I
in
can go with
bed.
dirty
Yeah.
hair. Let me cut off
Yes.
20 more minutes. I start doing all this math I don't need to.
Yes.
Oh, you know what? I don't need to go see my sister. Okay, I'll cut that out. Like you just start. I do the same thing. It is fascinating, and you found that Adderall was something that in your special you talk about. Oh, it's this like miracle drug. It changed my
Yeah, I
life.
regret those
And then by
words
the
a
time
little
we were texting about it, you go, it's not in my life anymore. Can you speak to that at all?
Yeah, I mean that's the only two words in the special that I regret is when is saying that it's a miracle drug, and I would have had them cut those two words out, except I'd
Four
already made one.
words. 4 words.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. That's a good point. Also
Sorry.
4 words.
Sorry.
No, it's fine.
But miracle
Andrew
drug is
is a
probably what you
stickler
were.
for
Yeah,
word
miracle
math.
drug. That's true. Yeah,
8 words. That was
but
8 words.
It wasn't the words I regretted in the special, Andrew. I don't know if you, man, do I regret saying it's, I could have said they are a miracle drug, and I really phrased that in a very direct way that ruined everything.
Maybe if you were back on Adderall, you would have, figured that one out.
It's a good point. I like that you say you regret it, and we'll get to why in a second. But it did strike me immediately when you said it. I go, oh, good. Okay, I can do it now. It was Ben's doing it. I can do it. There is something about when someone you admire, i.e., I'm watching you. You're funny. You're killing it. Everyone loves you. I'm watching the special. It's so good. You're operating on a level where I'm like, I aspire to write some jokes like this. And then I hear, oh, he does Adderall. He thinks it's a miracle drug. Okay, I'm going to ask my doctor about it. So I like that you do acknowledge that you endorse something that might inspire people to go, I'm going to go do that. And now let's talk about the flip side, why you feel like that maybe was a little too,
Sure.
not maybe the best thing.
Yeah, I feel
Were you like snorting it out of like an asshole? Like by the end of it?
yeah, I was like Adderall also it doesn't smell good. I don't know what it is.
Well, that's how his doctor
Could
prescribed
be this
it.
shit. Nurse!
A
Nurse.
suppository, but you put it in a girl's ass and then you
Can we
snort
get a
it
new
out of her
nurse in
ass.
here? I don't know if I think she's tired of this shift already. Her back hurts. She can't be in downward dog all day, according to her. I don't know what this is. Is this a healthcare system or not?
The thing
Healthcare
Ben is most
broken.
worried about is like, are we using the same straw? Are the straws clean?
And so I don't regret it in the way that I know it is a miracle drug still for a lot of people, so it's fine.
Yes,
and I didn't ask them to edit those words out because I already had made one editor quit when editing my special based on my notes, and it was about to be
I was
released.
gonna say, man, I want to know about that process too, but let's stay on this.
So yeah, it just for me was making me like it was a marginal. It would help me wake up, and it was a marginal benefit to my to-do list. Not really, because I had the horrible problem that I started being able to justify whatever I was doing as something that it was helping me focus on. Like for a minute, I was able to actually be like, oh, I'm using Adderall on my to-do list. And then once I got to the place where I was like, okay, the Adderall's helping me focus on finishing masturbating quicker. I'm like, I've hacked the Adderall. Now I'm making it help me focus on whatever I'm doing, even if it's my old bad habits. And so I like outsmarted the pill, which was the problem, and it made me very irritable and sad.
I think this is the movie Limitless.
Yeah, it was like the movie Limitless. It was.
I love it. The movie Limitless was at the end. He's like, I'm jerking off faster.
I don't remember that. I never saw it. Don't spoil it.
That is the movie. It actually is pretty good.
Well, it's just him. It's just Bradley Cooper jerking off fast for 2.5 hours.
Nikki never seems to come.
Oh no, that was me during A Star Is Born. Wait, so I do want to get back to this of because I'm on subreddits about ADHD and once I got diagnosed about different medications and everything and how some people respond to them. That is a common complaint of people on these stimulants is that yes, it helps them focus on stuff. Yes, it helps them get their to-do list done, but then they find that they start focusing on things that they shouldn't be focusing on, like the stuff because ADHD, what I just realized from reading this book that I am reading, read a third of, called the neurodivergent brain or whatever I think it's called. I didn't even read a third. I didn't read the full title. Apparently, got a third of the way through that.
The first word of the second third was, if you don't make it to this sentence, you are neurodivergent and can't focus your brain on anything properly.
It's called, Divergent Mind is the name of the book. So I was close. But it says that, I think it was in this book, it says, ADD is not people think it's about not being able to focus. I have not read
the whole book, and I don't know the title, and I'm not sure the purpose, but let me tell you what I think might be in the book.
Well, guess what? Every person that buys this book about ADD is definitely someone who has not finished.
Do you even have the book? Do you really even have this
book?
Here.
It's right here.
You've just been reading the
Coming
back
Alive.
You've just been reading the back cover of a giant Toblerone container.
I mean, honestly, you can see my percentages on these books. Let me just walk you through this. Hold Me Tight. A book, 7 Conversations for a Lifetime of Love, 12%. The Art of Seduction, 31%. Coming Alive, 25%. 25. And the only ones that I finished are Columbine books, as you know.
Oh my God.
But it says that like ADD is not it's not a disorder of you can't focus, because the thing is people with ADD, that's where we think anyone who's like, oh, a squirrel, like that's you're not able to focus. You don't have attention to put anywhere. The problem is you have a lot of attention and you focus on the wrong things intensely on the wrong things. So I always thought of ADD as like, you can't hold my focus on anything. Right. But ADD is not that. It's like we are able to focus very much so on stupid shit. And that's why for me, ADD makes me really super depressed, borderline suicidal, because I will focus intently and obsessively on the fact that, my life isn't the way I want it to be. I don't have these things that other people have. I will obsess over that stuff. And that's my root of my depression was my ADD, which I had no idea about. So how do you manage your ADD now, Ben?
Yeah, so I mean that's exactly why I didn't know I had it, by the way, for my whole life. Was I had thought exactly the same thing, that it was like squirrel and a million things that distract you, and it's not. Yeah. I have incredible focus. Like I can be up all night editing a flyer, even though that's the least important thing in the world for me to be doing, and I've got like 8 other projects that'll advance my life, but I'm like stuck in Photoshop world for a flyer I'll probably never post, and it'll be 8 years from now, and I'll be like, why did I waste the most key time ever? And so that's what somehow they said that Adderall was able to do. It beyond just keeping you focusing on one task. It somehow like helped you realize like what you should be focusing on, and like helps you remember like, oh, this is important. And it worked for like a few months, and then suddenly I outsmarted it in the way where I was like justifying like the breaks I needed. So then I told my brain with the pill, like even if I was like, again, if I was like looking at porn, I was like, oh, it's been such a stressful day. I need this mental break. I need this relaxation. And so this half hour to maybe an hour break looking at porn is very important for the rest of my day so I can reset and relax. And my brain was like, great, Adderall is working for you. And I was able to completely...
It's funny when you're watching the porn on Adderall and you're just focusing on like a paperclip on the table. Or instead of seeing the pussy, it's like I can't focus on the pussy. I'm busy looking at this fucking. I think guy's shoes being untied.
Well,
I don't know why his shoes are still on.
As I'm looking at the porn too, I'm sitting there, I'm focused on that, and I feel like it's good. And then the nurse is like, "Can I get up now, or are you gonna re-up this thing, or no?"
I'm really happy that you just admitted that sometimes you spend an hour looking at porn, because I also have a problem where I don't even think it's ADD for me. It's if I'm going in, I gotta find the perfect video. I want to come to the perfect thing. I don't want to waste it on whatever there is just there, because there's a lot of stuff that could get me off. And there are times where I'll be watching something and I'm like, I'm close and this could do it, but this guy doesn't deserve it. This girl, this performance, this grainy footage, whatever it is, this security camera in a massage parlor doesn't deserve it. There's got to be better out there.
Yeah, I get my own to-do list.
Is that part of your...
Yes, I get my own to-do list within porn. Like, maybe the greatest advancement in porn is that every site now has where you can just put your finger on the thumbnail and it gives you a preview, and I can tell if it's going to be hot to my standards or not. And so I'll get a tab and I'll be like, okay, I have to come back and watch that one, but this one looks also good. This one might get me close, but not all the way. So I'll open the next tab and I'm like, I have to go back 2 tabs to finish, but I really want to see this first and then that one. And I think I'll probably finish back on that 3rd tab, and maybe I'll not get back to it and hopefully remember the next day to go back 3 tabs.
Before it's over, your vibrator stops working, and then the whole operation falls apart.
My vibrator always stops working right before the end. That's correct.
I always toggle to. Is it the word toggle? Is that the word? I toggle to
your
the
penis,
reveal of the penis. when she pulls the penis out, a little bit of a blow, and then right to fucking. Usually on top and the backside, and that's what I toggle, and then I'm done. 3 toggles.
That's interesting. Well, usually they show you on porn like where they have a little I don't even know how to describe it. Like, it shows you the most popular part of the video.
You're looking at the analytics? You're looking at the analytics of porn? That is next level. That is the next level, Nikki. My God. Oh, my God.
Nikki's...
You're making your coming far too complicated. Jesus. I thought I was bad. You're like, when the bar graph reaches the top and most people have come, I edge just past it so I can come a little harder than the rest of the population.
Oh, I'm a big edger. I do look at that. Well, I always go right to the grossest part of the video. Like, I'll just go, I don't want any tease. I'm just like, let's see what the fuck, I go right to.
You're like, and this porn is big in Norway? Oh my God.
There's no way I'm coming to that one.
Analytics? You know what I'm really disturbed by is that every porn. Yeah, I will acknowledge analytics, and I will say that Ben Gleib makes an analysis joke in his special. Ben, we have a history of. Andrew wanted me to name my special "Anal Eyes" because I talk about anal, and it's like also analyzing things. But I also was like, but there's no why the eyes part, and he's like, because you see the world with your eyes. And I'm like, if the special were about me, like talking about my eyes and also anal, like I could see why it would be called analyzed. But I'm like, it's not enough to just be.
Oh my
so anyway,
God.
We have a whole running bit about that. But I was so delighted when you also had a take on the word analysis. Can you tell us what it is?
Sure, I can. But first, I have to finish picturing what you just painted for me as what Andrew's pitch for your special was, is you're getting fucked from behind, but in the front you're like an explorer looking out at the world. Like,
that's good.
This is the beauty of it, Ben. There can be thousands of interpretations. That's the beauty of it, dude. Thank you.
There was You are such a good salesman. I forgot that you used to work in bullshit because you did not think of the beauty of it. There's just so many different ways to interpret it.
Yeah.
Nikki, it's up to the viewer. I mean, Good Clean Filth, it was great. Don't get me wrong.
Yes, but anal
you
eyes.
kind of know. Yeah, I mean, it never ends.
Well, thank God you didn't use that title because it would have stepped on my joke maybe too closely. But what my joke is that, look, it's important to be in therapy. Therapy's been great for me, but don't overdo analyzing your life. Analysis is important, sure, but if it was that important, it wouldn't be made up of the words anal and ISIS. And keep that in mind.
I loved it.
Yeah.
Analysis also sounds like you're fucking your sister in the ass a little bit. You know what I mean?
I mean,
I
it's
want to see the
beautiful.
analytics on that.
Sure. Yeah. Can I pull up the analytics on that? Pull up the analytics.
All right. We will be right back after this break. More with Ben Gleib. All right, we're back. Ben Gleib is with us here today. We just blew past the news. Ben has a new special on YouTube that you got to check out. You will freaking love it. I promise you. I would not be promoting it so much if I didn't believe it. It is called The Mad King. Make sure you watch it. Give it a view. Post about it on your Instagram stories or wherever you tell people to watch things. And you're gonna love it. I just was so, even the start of the special. How did you open the special again? It really delight. Oh, when you were asking the crowd, how are you guys? What did you say?
I walk out and I'm like, how are you? How are you doing? Can I get you anything? Are you warm? Comedians aren't allowed to tell jokes anymore, so it's going to be all questions for the hour. Can I bring you food? Can I make you more comfortable?
Yeah.
And then I
like
go,
a Jewish mother.
Yes. Yeah. It was a great comment on, like, comedians all we talk about is like, we're under persecution. We can't talk about anything. But it was a great comment on that without going too heavy handed, which is what I really just can't say enough. I thought so much of your special was just because you have a tendency, you can get very political. You can get you're passionate about certain things. I mean, you ran for president. You are passionate, and you've wanted to argue with me about one night Ben and I had a practice debate about whether or not there's.
Wait, what are you practicing for?
We want to have a debate about free will.
I'm going
He believes there is free will.
We'll release that teaser on my podcast soon, like our 9-minute pre-debate.
Oh yeah, so we recorded it, and it was really good. And then I was like, Ben, I've got to go to bed. We were in the lobby of my hotel, and I was
like
just
2 a.m. at the end of a long night of karaoke.
Like, Ben was just waking up.
Yeah, exactly.
Ben's like, you want to watch Free
Willy? He was having his first sip of wet coffee, wet mouth coffee.
Ben's like, I got to buy an inflatable alligator in the morning for this pool party, and I just can't.
Ben, I swear to God, Ben is. You are one of the best people going out there. Like, I always tell Ben this whenever we end our hangs, because usually it's like very late at night, or it's just, Ben will keep you until you've tried to go home hours before, but Ben will somehow keep you there. You didn't even want to go out. You tried to get out of it a million different ways, and Ben will stay on you. And Ben is I've always given shit to people who make their friends feel bad about bailing. Ben is not like that. He will let you bail, but he will hear your bail. He'll hear your reasoning for bailing. He will understand it, but he will talk you out of that bail, and he will give you every reason why you can go. And if it's not fun, you can you're very good at getting people out and getting people on board. He's
no Ben Bailey. Boom.
Let me call you a cash cab if you don't like my pitch to stay for the rest of the night. Thank you. I just like to present options to people. I like to give them, of course, if you want to leave, go, but you might change your mind if you knew what I had in store.
Where do you get that from? Where do you get this from? This, you are so, you are so good, and I am very aware when people are trying to get us. I'm very I'm not doing it, and I know what I'm not doing, and you will get me out of that. How have you read books about the psychology of persuasion, how to win friends and influence people? I mean, you have a lot of that going for you, but I don't feel like it's put on. It just seems to be a part of who you are.
Yeah, no, I haven't read any of that stuff. I think it's just because I love human connection and I love hanging with my friends, and we all are so busy, we make so little time for it. Then when we do it, I want to make the most of the night. It's like we're probably going to go back to our hotel room and like be on TikTok ourselves anyway for another 3 hours. So I'll just like remind you that you could do that instead of, you could do that anytime, but this is a rare chance. We're hanging, we don't even live in the same city. I just like,
Yes.
I just want to make the most with my friends. I failed at getting you to go to that spa after karaoke, 24-hour spa, but I came close, and I think you'll go with me next time. And we ended up recording a podcast on free will instead.
And the fact that you even got
won.
me to go to the karaoke, which is something I wanted to bail on. Like you got a lot more out of me that night than I would have ever given anyone else. I mean, there's constantly things like that with you, and I do never regret them, and that is a good point. You have.
So did you have free will to leave?
Yeah,
Nikki?
apparently.
No, I didn't. I didn't.
No, I just think it's funny that like the argument has now become about free will. Like,
right.
But yeah.
Well,
it's like,
wait till you hear our debate on Free Willy and whether or not that was a good movie. Because although it did, give us a good argument for supporting the whales, it did actually probably hurt some whales in the process of making that movie. So Ben and I will release those tapes at some point as well.
Very excited. When the whale jumps over the young boy at the end, I don't know if you notice, you look closely, he does tug on the whale's dick really quickly as he flies over him. He freezes Willie in more ways than one.
And is that animal cruelty or not?
wait, time out. Whales' dicks just hang?
Yeah,
I just learned that.
Oh yeah. How do you think they paddle through the water? By accident? No,
I know whales have dicks. I remember I saw a sperm whale's dick in like marine biology, and it was like 18 feet out of water.
In marine biology, what is that?
Huh? It's a class in Florida. It's all biology in Florida.
Oh, that's
is
cool.
Marine biology. But Miss Mac, who would smoke cigarettes during the break, in 2 minutes she'd take down a non-filter. It's pretty impressive. At like 140 years old, she's probably dead. But yeah, I just remember their dicks being so fucking like whales' dicks are unbelievable. If you gotta look into it.
Thank you for saying that. Thank you for saying that. I agree. I totally agree.
And on that, I'm gonna be in Ben's Secretary of Treasurer.
I'd like to go now to the Secretary of the Treasury, Flappy Gums, to tell you about whale cocks.
Your cat just got so scared when you did that. Isn't he used to that by now? Andrew just flicked off his cat.
Andrew's been frozen. I don't even see him for the last 10 minutes, so it's all purely imagination for me. He's got a cat with a huge penis. Really? He's got a huge cocked penis, a huge cocked cat walking around. A huge cocked penis. Man, your penis has got a huge cock on it, Andrew.
My cat
does
actually
Mango
has a small
have a
dick.
penis?
He does. It's in there.
Wait, you looked for it?
I did. It's not a hanger, I'll tell you.
Aren't they like corkscrews or something?
No,
or
that's ducks.
Is that ducks?
Oh, you thought ducks had 7 vaginas too. So what's going on?
And 9 dicks.
Marine biology.
Dude, it's all beautiful.
Wow, ducks have nine vaginas. Talk about a socket pocket. Holy shit.
No. Ducks have secret pathways to the pussy hole that actually gets impregnated. Then they have fake outs. They have little pump fake vaginas so when they get, raped, unfortunately, the people that they don't want.
They use the fake vagina for that?
Yes.
I am on the floor right now. I'm sorry.
Wow.
I'm fine with human rape, but duck rape is where I draw the line.
Andrew,
just picture legs in the air
solemn.
from the ground.
Andrew getting solemn for a second. About duck rape, having a moment where he was like a little bit scared of getting canceled. So he goes, ducks get raped. Unfortunately.
And I'm very sorry about that. I'm so sorry. We got to stop it.
Can we have a moment of silence, one for each vagina?
Oh my God. Make sure you say to duck rape.
Thanks, Donald.
I cannot believe that was so funny, Andrew. You being like really supportive of duck rape and like the victims.
Duck, duck, don't is the new anti-duck rape campaign.
Dude, I am crying, dude. Ben, you can't see me, but I'm laughing hard.
Oh God, I'm glad something else on your head is wet.
Yeah, I don't know if it's tears or just spit from my own mouth.
Dude, that was so funny. Oh my
well,
God.
Look.
So wait, tell us now that we've honored the duck rape victims.
I mean, I think I got the point out.
Yeah,
But
I think you did.
Beautiful point you made. A very important
Oh my
point.
God. Okay, well, let's get to our Wednesday segment. I feel like there's no better time. We have today is a wild card Wednesday, so we pick a random segment. Today's segment, Noah, is
Blankest thing I've ever done, and the
the
topic
blankest
is,
thing.
and the topic will be the smartest thing I've ever done.
The smartest thing I've ever done. The smartest thing I've ever done. Who wants to go first? Noah, do you want to kick us off?
Okay, I'll kick us off. The smartest thing I've ever done. I'm gonna choose reading the book Getting to I Do,
Yes!
front to back, side to side, memorizing it, and taking it
love
seriously.
that. Ben might not know about this book, but
I've heard about it. And
yes,
You talked about it in your special too, didn't you?
I did. Yes.
Yes.
Why is that your answer, Noah?
Because it just taught me how to feel better about being in a relationship, how to get what I need out of it, and how to communicate better and not have such like a tumultuous relationship with my partner.
Yes.
And just being in a
It's the
healthy
same book
relationship.
that you explain in your special. You
Yep.
also need to lie and misrepresent yourself and trap somebody. Basically,
There's no
No.
free will,
Change your
Ben.
life. Once you get a guy,
yeah.
make sure he loses all
You
of
don't
his free
choose
will.
to do any of that.
I know you want to leave, but you don't have a choice. You're with me for life. I read the book.
Well-
This is chapter 9, not being able to leave.
For comedy, I may have misrepresented some of the themes in the book, but not even misrepresented, exaggerated some of the things. I didn't do a false premise. But Noah, will you just dispel kind of what Ben is saying and just say what the book? Because you always have a really good response when people are like, "It's." Because sometimes I go, "Well, I guess I." Sometimes I get mad about the book because I'm like, okay, so I'll just never drive again, I guess. So I'll always just take 45 minutes to get somewhere slower because I have to let my boyfriend drive because he's a man and I gotta let him do it. And I get so mad, like I have to be a fucking handmaid. So will you talk to that?
Yeah, so
a
it
little
sounds like a very like anti-feminist book, but it's actually the contrary once you get past the first chapter. And basically it just taught me that you can't have the same like forces in a relationship. You have to have you're either the giver or the receiver, and it's always got to like maintain that harmonious balance. So that was a big one. I think the thing that really helped me was the 3 points that she makes about knowing what you want out of a relationship and letting your partner know as well. So you want exclusivity. We're only dating each other if there's sex involved. You want continuity. This is something that we're going to work on and like we're going to see
John
each other.
Mayer albums.
It's continuity. We're going to see each other every week and it's going to be something that is consistent and longevity. We're both in it for the long run.
I was waiting for the third and I was like, yeah,
I
that
was
fits.
too. Any itty.
Any.
Yeti, baby. Yeti coolers.
So I think like that, like just knowing and memorizing those 3 paragraphs about the 3 John Mayer albums helped me get in a relationship with my now fiance, and
Yes.
it just kind of set us up for success.
You don't think that you would be with Avi right now had it not been for that book?
Hell no! Oh my god, no way. He would have left me a long time
Where would
ago.
you be? Why?
Because the things that I would normally go crazy over in a relationship just helped me not get to that point of like anger and instead get ahead of it, communicate my needs, and just be like receptive of him making the effort after I gave him instruction for what my needs are and not left him
Yes.
guessing, which is what I used to do because I used to test guys all the time. Like, you should know what I want if you care about me, which is such a stupid
When
thing.
did girls get that idea? How did that come into the system of you should
Of you
know
should know
what
what
I
I
want without me saying it instead of just
Because
saying
we
it?
feel like we know what you want and we try to meet those needs. So why
No,
can't
you
you
don't,
figure out
and no,
what?
you
Why
don't.
you? But then why don't you tell us what what you want? Like
We do.
that's the
We
thing
do.
that bothers
we
me is
want
that like
sex more. We'd like you to dress a certain way that I
Make
like.
me a TV dinner.
Yeah, cook me up a TV dinner, woman.
Well, I love the name of that, you know? That's
I
cool.
guess my point is if you don't know what we want, then why don't you fucking ask?
I ask. all
Yeah,
the time.
I don't know. Brenna would do this thing where she folded the clothes and then was waiting on me to put them away, and I just never did it because I didn't know it was a test.
Right.
Tests.
But then she's like, "I'm not testing you," but I'm like, "It feels like a test."
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
like some of these tests, you don't even know you're being tested.
Yeah.
And then when you say it's a test, they say it's not a test.
Well, I
Yeah,
get what
what's
she's
the-
doing
what's
here
the-
because
it's
she's
like,
probably,
tell me.
I always do the laundry, I fold it,
Oh,
and then I
yeah.
put it away. And
Yes.
she's like, I wonder if I didn't do this one thing,
Yeah.
if it
Right.
would ever get done. And the answer is it wouldn't. And
Because there's a
I'm
pattern
on
established,
Brenna's side.
and how are we supposed
But
to know
just
that a
tell
pattern's
me.
been broken? Yeah.
No.
You come to rely
You're
on
right.
pattern. I'm not going to suddenly, I'm not a detective coming home like Sherlock Holmes in my own house. Wait a minute. What's different than the usual pattern? Oh, the laundry basket's to the left of where it normally is. I'm not doing
Yes,
forensics.
thank you,
Pat. I'm
Ben.
not looking at the analytics of my house.
The only pattern I know
No, it's-
is baldness. That's the only pattern I know.
No,
No,
it's
but
not,
yes,
it's
I
not
agree.
fair. It's not fair to you guys, but I do feel like there are some times where I'm just like, why don't they ask more of what we need? Like, why do we always have to tell them what we need? Like, aren't they curious about how to please us and like how to make us happier? Like, what could I do to make you feel more loved by me? But men don't think about things like that. Like, I'm not kidding you. I have sent Chris, my boyfriend, the love languages quiz 2 times now, and he said I will get to it, and I'm like, it's fun to take. All you have to do is just you press on a bunch of buttons. It takes like 2 minutes to take. I just want to know your love language. I want you to know mine. We'll exchange them once you do it. And he always is like, you know, it's not always 2 times now. Do I send it a 3rd time, or do I just like take it as like this isn't gonna happen? Like what's my next approach?
Oh, I think your move there is just to maybe find a time even when you're hanging and be like, it's important to me. You have to express how important it is to you and say, it's important to me that you take this.
Okay.
Do you mind taking it right now? Let's just take 5 minutes.
Not
and
just
you can
texting
take
it
and
to
then
him
we can talk
twice and
about it.
saying, babe, could you please take this? It's important
Texts
to me.
are very
Listen
easy
up.
to like not prioritize right then. You can.
No,
because
you're right,
there's
you're
no
right.
Time. So you got to be able
And I
to
may
say
not
like,
have used the words important. You're right.
yeah,
Yeah, you
it's
kinda
important
gave
to
him a
me.
I
way
may have
out.
actually made it to see.
Yeah.
I made it seem a little less like important to me because I didn't want him to feel like this was some sort of test, even though it literally is a test. Like I didn't want him. I think it was like, this is fun. Just send me your
Well, have
results
you-
when you get them. But it
Have you
really was like
Googled?
so important
you-
to me.
Have you Googled what's the love language of someone that doesn't fill out a love language? I'm sure
I
there's
know my love language is taking quizzes about our relationship to
or
prove
not
to me
taking
that
quizzes. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, my mom took it. It was so hilarious. I made my mom take it, and hers was, I took it. Mine's like 35% touch, which is like the leading, like my
So
number one is touch, and my
Chardonnay.
hers,
That's 120%, by the way.
Hey, it's 5 o'clock somewhere, Ben.
my mom's was 0% touch. She wants no touch, and I was like, oh my god, how do you want no touch? But I do think that it is, when you take this quiz, it's really fun to take, by the way. And I'm not just trying to get everyone to take
Are you
it,
talking
but, like,
to Chris right now? It's really fun to take,
Yeah,
by the way, in
yeah,
case you're listening.
like it's really easy. It takes less than 5 minutes, and you learn a lot about yourself, and you have fun along the way.
You think he's gotten this far into the podcast?
Yeah, right. I could say so much.
You just did. You just did.
Let's go into final thought because we got to get through the rest of these smart things.
Oh.
Andrew, what's the smartest thing you've ever done?
Probably stop doing real estate because I wasn't
Interesting.
good at it. And follow a passion instead of money, I guess. I know that sounds cheesy, but yeah. Stop trying to chase money as opposed to chase something that I actually enjoyed. And
Yes.
that's probably the smartest thing I ever did.
I just did
that
a
and-
roast.
I ate actual ants one time off a log. Ants on a log with the peanut butter and
Right.
the raisins.
What-
I
how
put
does this
actual
connect?
ants on there.
Was-
It's
so that
another
was
very
the-
smart thing I've done.
And why did you do that?
Why'd you do that?
Show the ants who the Mad King is.
It all comes back.
Nice.
Andrew is a king of
Respect.
promo. The Mad King now streaming on
Check
YouTube.
it out, Ben
Go check it
Gleib.
out. Ben Gleib's hour-long
Great
special,
answer.
brand new, very topical of the times. You'll love it. Ben, what's the smartest thing you ever did?
Wow. Oh man, it's hard. I'm usually thinking of the dumb. I've got a big list of dumb things I've done.
Right?
The smartest thing I've ever done. I don't know. It's
It doesn't have to be the smartest thing, but let's just go with the smart thing. Because I know
I mean-
my brain goes if I can't think of the one thing, then
Mm-hmm.
why I can't. There's not a gun to your head. You're not gonna be tested at some point on this.
God. I mean, the smartest thing I've ever done is just killing it at this answer. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm really on top
Well,
of my
what's-
game right now.
Well, there's another way to answer this question is what is something that from your life that if you had a child, you would want them to make a similar decision for theirs?
I think just realizing that
Your
confidence
blood is
some-
98.6 degrees Fahrenheit, and so you'll never be
Yes.
cold again.
That's a pretty good one.
That's a Ben
I know you
Gleibism. Okay.
mentioned it. I can solve anybody's problem with cold, and you can all of
Yes.
a sudden enjoy cold temperatures in a much different level. I studied with the Iceman, no
Yeah.
big deal. But point is,
No, you did.
no, I think probably it's just realizing that confidence is fake, so you can create it whenever you want, and you don't need to be intimidated in social situations. It's more of advice than it is a decision. If it had to be a decision, it would be just
Wait, tell
I
me
think-
about that, because that seems like you're onto something that I think a lot of people will be like, wait, what do you mean by that? Because so many people suffer with social anxiety, feeling
Right.
less than, even myself, insecurities. What do you mean by that? Being confident is. What do you describe? How do you do that? How do you hack that?
So, I mean, I learned this because I grew up with a very severe speech problem, and it wasn't for me ever, I don't think, physical. It
Grew
was-
up.
I'm still a child, but I speak better now.
I
I
had
speak.
to get it back at you. I mean, the whole flabby mouth.
From one wet mouth
I
to
don't want
another.
hit that flabby mouth too hard. I was just running with the earlier joke. I think your mouth is wonderful, Andrew. One of the prettiest mouths I've ever seen of any man.
Now this is that confidence you're talking about.
That's right.
That's not real.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's right. Exactly.
Wait, Ben, what was your speech impediment?
I had a severe stutter and a disfluency, so I not only stuttered, but I couldn't make sounds come out of my vocal cords a lot of my life. I couldn't even say hi to a friend passing me in the hallway. My vocal cords would shut down. I couldn't talk.
God,
publicly.
where's that Ben when you need him around?
Also, I think with that speech you didn't have any friends. Let's be honest.
That's
Not a good
wild,
sign
Ben.
when you're a guest on someone's podcast and they're like, "Where's the Ben that talks less?" That's not ideal.
No. I.
How did you get over that, though? That's crazy.
I mean, that is honestly so the opposite of you, and it explains. I mean, oftentimes people that are so one way, they come from the opposite. So it makes sense. I used to have crippling stage fright, and people are like, "How could you?" So
Right.
how did that? When did that come to a head, and what did you do to resolve
Well, your
it?
legs were weak from being anorexic.
What?
Crippling.
Oh.
Should we do another
Oh,
duck
literally.
PSA pause? Should we pause for a quick word about ducks? Let's just quickly.
So ducks have 7
last
pussies.
word?
I love that you had to explain that joke.
The 7
I love that
pussies
it's
of
gonna
highly
haunt you
effective
all
ducks.
day.
Andrew's favorite motivational book is The 7 Pussies of Highly Effective Ducks, and it's a very good book that talks about the 7 duck languages. Each pussy stands for a different duck language.
Hey, not bad for a guy that didn't have a mouth until 15. That's pretty good.
Wait, Ben, how did you overcome this? I can't believe this.
Yeah, so I couldn't talk a lot of my life, and I realized I was seeing it wrong, and it leads exactly to why confidence is something that you can always fake, is that I always felt like you have intense pressure when you're called on to speak, when it's your turn to be perfect. You have to present perfectly, and you can't have any errors in the way you speak. And in fact, the opposite is true. It's that people have very low expectations. You don't realize that. Like, people are barely listening to you when you speak. If they're listening at all, they want to get maybe like a kernel of a message. They don't care how you're saying anything. They're not expecting Martin Luther King Jr. up there doing some soaring oratory. They want to maybe get some nugget for themselves. They're barely paying attention. And so that reduces so much of the tension I always felt when I was called on to speak or had to speak publicly. And then I also would just take a breath and realize, like, it doesn't matter what you're like. It only matters what you're saying, not how. And then you take a step further back and realize, like, if you think what you're saying is so important, it's so insane. There's like 8 billion humans and like trillions and quadrillions of creatures and beings on this planet. And you think that what you're saying, and that's in a vast, unknowable universe floating on a marble through outer space, you think that not only what you are saying, that one individual organism, but how you're saying it, the pauses you're taking means shit to anybody. It's so vastly insignificant that it just melts away all tension.
How did you get mushrooms at such a young age?
Yeah. And
how the fuck did you realize all of that?
Well,
I heard 2/3 of that.
22.
This was till 22?
Yeah, it was on and off through college, so it's better starting at 18, but then it was through 22.
Did you have like a psychedelic breakthrough? Because this seems like, getting into like, you don't matter, you're a speck of dust, the world is like, that sounds like stuff that you achieve through some sort of, ego death. What was there a moment for you that it all broke, or was it, because it sounds like a epiphany type thing?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I think probably weed helped a lot, and probably a little bit of mushrooms. Oh, but mushrooms would have been later in life, so wouldn't have been mushrooms. No, it was just weed. Maybe to some degree helped me see things differently, and my brain kind of goes on crazy tangents. But I just realized like there was something weird, because like certain times of the year I could speak great through childhood, and then certain times I couldn't, and so I knew it was like also like society based and like social environment based, and like I knew that at times when I felt confident I could speak better, and at times when I was nervous.
So it wasn't about
like
you,
King's
because there was
Speech.
something about like you could do it at some point. So there was you realized it wasn't in you the problem; it was something around you that was happening.
The way I was seeing the world was wrong, because I knew there was times when I was fine.
It's
and
very
so there was
smart.
something about a social construct that was affecting it, and it wasn't within me. And so that's part of like how
was your bar mitzvah?
It was scary because I couldn't speak well. Like in my bar mitzvah, I could sing the Torah portion well. I could always sing well because your vocal cords open and relaxed. But for my speech, I was really, really nervous about it. And then at my video at the party, I'm like stammering. I'm like, I'm here at my bar mitzvah.
I'm a man.
Yeah, it was like really intense and weird. And like I would just go up and down with that kind of stuff. And it even came back once. Like it officially kind of went away at the end of my college experience, and then I started, professionally pursuing entertainment and being a performer and comedian, and then it came back once. It only came back really once professionally, live during an episode of Chelsea Lately. On the round table, my speech problem just came back hard, and I couldn't talk suddenly, and I kept trying to make a point, and I could not speak. It was, and to set this up properly, you have to remember that show was cancel culture, and it was the most inappropriate show on earth, and you were allowed to like roast everybody for every inappropriate racial joke or anything to set this up. And so I'm on the round table, and it's Chelsea Handler there, and then Bobby
Trying to think of a new slur for Asians. And
Correct.
You just couldn't come up with one.
That's right. Yeah, my brain really wanted to marginalize the Asian community, and I couldn't do it.
They had all been used at that point, so you're trying to come up with a new one. Wait, so who's on the panel? Set the scene.
Could only come up with a slurp. He's back.
I'm on the panel, and his video's back right then too. I'm on the panel sitting in between Joe Coy and Bobby Lee, and already like pretty intense and like
Asian.
Go for it Asian performers, two of the top Asians, and I'm there on the round table. I'm trying to make some joke, and I cannot, and I'm hitting a block, and I'm like, and then. And
it's the worst place to be to have that happen too, with Chelsea just like looking at you across.
God!
Immediately, Chelsea, like the
Sneering at
greatest shit talker ever, is like, oh my God, what's happening? You're on a broadcast right now. What's happening? Then Joe Coy, who I've known forever, is like, your childhood speech problem's coming back. Oh no. And he's like shaking me, and Bobby's like, it's okay, Ben, it's just TV. And they're like all like hammering and
that
coming out of me.
almost is kind of better that they called out maybe what was happening. I don't know.
Kind of, yeah. But like, and then Chelsea's like, holy shit, should we get you a water? Like, what's happening? This is on the air. And I several times I couldn't come back, but I call it my rope-a-dope episode because I came back so hardcore and destroyed them seconds later. Then eventually I was able to get my breath and open the block up and came back strong. And I had 2 lines that I came back with. I then said, after they're making fun of my speech problem and all kind of closing on me, I said, that's okay. At least it's not as bad as these 2 guys who are very excited to be here on Charity Ratry.
Oh God.
And it crushes the room. And then I happen to bring in my pockets because I knew I'd be on with them. I pull out 2 fortune cookies and I go, hey, in case you guys are hungry. And I throw the fortune cookies to them on the round table, and it destroys the room. When they take them out, they're like, you son of a bitch, I'm hungry. And they both eat the fortune cookies. And it was the best ending, but it was very frightening for a minute there.
My God, how terrifying to have that happen on air. I mean, I feel like as you're talking, I relate to this so much. And I also like, I want to even say back to you, like, I feel as a performer and when I'm putting together a stand-up set, or when I'm on a podcast, or like, I should be funnier. I need to choose, every word should be great, because I do feel like that pressure is on me, like that people are expecting that. Like, I go and I sometimes come across comments where people say like, she's not good, she's not that funny, she just, they call me out for the things I know that about myself, and then they'll say this person's like, the difference between someone who has a great vocabulary, who is able to express themselves so well, and then someone who isn't. And I feel like sometimes I do fall like, could I be aided in my kind of paralysis sometimes on certain shows where I'm so intimidated? Could I be helped out by that? What mindset could I get into of like, what I say is not important, just think what I'm just like, how do you relax in those moments? Because I have that happen to me. Like when I did Conan's podcast, like I do not like my performance on Conan's podcast because I was so intimidated by Conan, so nervous, so just like having listened to so many people on there be like Mulaney's and Mulaney, really, just like the hater.
You could always,
like these great comics who have like every fucking line is funny, every word they choose is there's no ums. They're just like so articulate and so funny. I felt like almost my level of being funny and relaxed was diminished by 90% because I was so in my head about not being those guys. What should I do next time?
Well, I mean, what I can tell you to that is this: as a comedian, what I said earlier really doesn't apply. You got to be pretty perfect, and so
yes, you do.
Sorry about that. No,
you do.
I mean, I was saying that to be funny. You kind of do. Definitely, it's a much higher
you
bar.
Do.
It's a much higher bar, but you can definitely also remind yourself in the moment. Like I used to get so insanely nervous, like it was kind of stage fright mixed with my speech problem, where I would just feel this enormous weight, and just remind yourself in that moment. And I've come to a place. My speech problem come back a little bit there, but you just kind of get through because you don't care. Is that I've come to a place where my heart rate doesn't even raise 1 beat a minute. If I'm going to go on stage in front of an arena, opening for some of the greats I've been able to open for, or on TV live to millions of people, whatever, on the Today Show or something, and my heart rate doesn't even raise a beat, because you just have to remind yourself it doesn't matter in the grand scheme. Like, you're funny. You've gotten to the place where you're one of the funniest people, one of the most sought after guests. You're hilarious.
In those moments, Ben, I don't know that. And I think I'm a fraud, and I have all these feelings of like, what am I doing here? And it really like cripples me. Like I almost don't want to do these shows anymore where I have such reverence for the show I'm doing, because I feel I have such bad showings on them, because I'm almost like gonna cry right now, because I feel paralyzed. I feel like I'm like someone off the street that just got pulled in and had a mic put in front of them, as opposed to someone with like 20 something years experience. Like it just feels like like I'm inarticulate right now even talking about it. Like I really can't get past that. And to the point where like I've said to myself, I'm not accepting any more of these things where I have such a high bar set for myself because I won't live up to it. And I will, the whole time I was on Conan's podcast, I could not relax. All I was thinking of was say something funny, be funnier. Oh my God, riff on that. Think of what they're saying. Like I was not present at all. And I don't know how to overcome it.
Well, let
Have
me
you
help you
thought
with that.
about taking stuff and whatever the ethnicity is, put stuff in your pockets? So like for Conan, you could do shepherd's
Potatoes.
pie. Yeah, potatoes.
Next time
For
I'll
a
bring-
Jewish guy, throw in a couple matzo balls. A black guy.
But yeah, we
well.
can talk off air about this, but I really
No,
do
I can help
struggle
you
with
with
it
that.
because
myself.
No, I can help you with that.
yeah, I really do. Like
I'm gonna
I
help
just
you.
don't.
I'm gonna
I
help
really,
walk you off this ledge while Andrew keeps sending racial slurs through the background.
I learned it from you, Ben.
I prefaced that this was 10 years ago on a show where you were allowed to say shit like that. I prefaced it.
we
You're
did
saying
give the
it now.
preface.
So,
it will be taken out of context in a clip,
Yes,
and
it
it will
will.
be used against you in the future, and
I
you
know.
will not be able to run for president. But
I know.
don't want
Well,
you
I've
to
already-
anyway.
Yeah,
so
they-
that is my campaign to keep you alive. Is that I'm
I
going to release
appreciate
that clip.
I appreciate that.
Just Ben saying, "Trust me lately." No context.
Look,
It's
so,
all for you, Ben. Yeah,
thank you.
help
I
me.
appreciate it. So, I mean, look, you have to realize it's just counterproductive to have those thoughts. So you just have to shut off that line of thinking. That's what I meant about when I said confidence is faked. Confidence is you have to remind yourself that the whole reason confidence exists is confidence. You don't need confidence for something that you know for sure is going to go well. Right? You don't need confidence to flip a light switch on because you know for a fact the light's going to come on when you flip it. So confidence only exists on things that you don't know for sure. And the whole presupposition of it is that I'm going to kill it at this thing, even though you don't know for sure. You just believe that you will because it's more.
So look at
adaptive and
things like a
productive.
light switch. Look at them like walking down a hallway, like things that
Right.
I know are already foregone conclusions that is going to be successful. Don't just already know that it's going to be great and therefore it will be.
Right, you're there for a reason, and like remind yourself, all these performers have had such insecurities. Look at Conan's first 2-3 seasons doing his late night talk show, where he is like,
Look at him
pale and
now.
had no
He's an insecure
posture.
guy even now.
Right, insecure now, even
Yeah.
now, and he's at the top of the game. And Bill Maher, I'm sure, has had the same things. And you go on these shows, it's like we are all people that came from this like very insecure background that brought us to a place where we can share what we do with the world. And so it's just, you have to stop your brain from thinking that, and you have to fake it till you make it. Just pretend that you're going to kill it, because that's what confidence is. It's not
I'm going to
fake.
light switch it.
That's what
I like
everybody does. That's what everybody does.
Yeah.
I like that's the takeaway. The smartest thing I ever did was ask Ben to articulate how he overcame that and how to help me, because I honestly, if I just think of things like the light switch was a great little trick you just gave me of like, I don't go into a bathroom going like, I really hope this goes well, like searching the wall being like, I don't want to fuck this up, everything's riding on this. Like, you don't do that in so many situations. Treat the things that you get, that you do feel that way about, like a light switch. Just light switch it.
Yeah,
I think
and
that's
you're
a
at the
great
point
lesson.
in your career where it is true for you. I mean, you've been invited back on Conan's podcast. You've already been there. Every show you're going on more and more shows. So you have to now
Right.
from now on, look at your talent in even things on talk shows or improvised things as a light switch. You already are there. You don't have to worry about it anymore. You're already at that level. So just free your brain.
What if
like-
the light bulb's
Be
out,
funnier.
though? What if the
yeah,
bulb's
or what if it's
out?
one of those weird switches that has like
fuck, really.
the dots on the side and it goes like up and down, and you
Yeah.
don't know like if you hold it or if you're supposed to press it once.
That's
My
not the
hotel
kind of
room
switch
has that
I was
right
talking
now,
about,
and
like my normal
that's
switch.
actually- yeah.
More basic switch.
All right, well, I'm guest
Like a
hosting.
standard switch, you know, not like newfangled switches. Kind of ruins the whole thing. Just like old,
I am guest hosting
physical
Jimmy
switch, you
Kimmel
know?
Live on the 25th, and so I'm going to use this. Even though I'm not nervous about it, I feel like there's going to be something at some point that day when I'm doing that show of being like, how did I get here? I'm going to fuck this up in some way. So I'm going to use the light switch analogy on that day and watch me guest host Jimmy Kimmel Live. Set your DVRs. August 25th.
Gelato, I think you said.
You're saying gelato.
And eat gelato while you do it.
Set your DVR
Check out
to
Ben
gelato. Put your DVRs on gelato and go warp speed straight to the universe. I'm hosting Jammy Jambo Live. It's a good plug.
Ben Gleib will be with us tomorrow on the show. Join us then.
Fuck yeah,
thank you
dude.
so much for being here, Ben. You're hilarious. This was so much fun. His YouTube special is The Mad King. It's on YouTube right now. Check it out. Follow him on all socials. Ben Gleib, Gleib. Thank you so much, Ben. We'll see you tomorrow. Don't be cut and Jack.
Stutter.
Come on.